Hey everyone, Wadge Gaming here. I'm back again with another video. So today what we're going to do is look at my teams that I'm going to be using for Master Mode for tomorrow. I'm going to go through my normal team and I'm going to also go through my free-to-play team. So let's get into the video. Before we do that, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. If you like the video, don't forget to press like and don't forget to share. So moving on to the video. First thing we're going to go through is Will. So now this coming week, from tomorrow, Will is going to be weak to poison. So for my free-to-play team, what I'm going to be using is I'm going to use Koga as my main striker, and as you can see here, the reason why I'm going to choose him is number one, yes, Will is weak against poison, so Venom Shock will be doubled if the target is poisoned, and also I can raise my evasiveness and critical hit. So now I will show you my sync grid that I'm going to be using against Will. So we've got the Poison Fang and Venom Shock extra power. We've got one node on the sync move. We've got Toxic Power 2 and Toxic Power 3. So this will power up my own moves when the opponent is poisoned. So if you see that Toxic Power 3 and 2, it's going to deal a lot of damage when the opponent is poisoned. Then we've got Bob and Weave as well, so the more our evasiveness is raised up, the more it's going to power up our moves. And again, Crobat can power up his own moves, or power up his own evasiveness. And then we just got a move give refresh on Venom Shock, because that is the target and the move that we're going to be using against Will. The next one I've got is James and Weezing. So the reason why we're going to use this is because of the AoE poison. So this is just there to set up poison, and also if we need to, we can just self-heal with Prepared to Fight, so we can restore our HP. And the next one is Survivor. So again, I'm going to be using Survivor to trap, so it's a bit like a poison trap element, which I'm going to be using against Will for my free-to-play team. Oh yeah, so Lucky Skill I'm going to use is Defense Crush on Survivor. Lucky Skill on Koga is Power Reserves. I know it's not the right Lucky Skill to have. I'm running out on cookies, so hopefully when Battle Villa comes up I can reset this, but for now it's Power Reserves 1, but if you want to, you can have Critical Strike 2, which would be a lot more better than this. And then for James and Weezing, Lucky Skill I got is Electric Guard. Again, I just thought, let me just slap anything on this. I don't really need to add this. I've got other priorities on other Pokemon where I want to use cookies on. Oh yeah, theme skills as well. I haven't done anything to Weezing. I haven't done anything to Survivor. Koga I've just put the +4 poison on the theme skill, and it will just be an extra 24 on attack and special attack, and also raise HP by 24 to the whole team. So that's my free-to-play team for Will. Oh sorry, moving back here. So for my normal team that I'm going to use for 1,500 points, the difference is I'm going to put Venusaur, and I've put Venusaur here to poison with Razor Leaf. And in over here we've got Venomous 4, so it's got a good chance of leaving all the opponents poisoned. Sundering as well, so it's going to lower the defenses and special defenses of their team. Lucky Skill got is Vigilance, so it can soak in those critical hits, and then it can also self-heal with Mega Healing, and I've got Potion if I needed it. Moving on, so Koga and Crobat you already know. Next one I'm going to put in is Janine and Ariados. So the only reason why it's here is for Venom Drench, just to lower the attack, special attack and speed. And if needed, I can raise my evasiveness, which I'll be doing in the beginning until Will is poisoned. If needed, I will swap maybe Ariados with Alakazam, just to buff up Crobat's own stats, so he can hit her hard with the poison. So I'll see and alternate the teams depending on how I do. Okay, so that is Will. Oops, again. Moving on now to Bruno. So my free-to-play team against Bruno is I'm using Mew as my main striker. Oh, sorry, let me move back to Koga. and I will show you the grids that I'm going to be using for Venusaur. So for Venusaur, I've got Razor Leaf Power Up, I've got Hem in 2 so I can also lower their evasiveness, I've got Potion, Master Healer, I've got Potion MP Refresh, Mega Healing MP Refresh, and Razor Leaf Move Gauge Refresh on that. Crobat's sync grid will still be the same as the free to play. Moving now on to Bruno for free to play, I've got Mew and Professor Oak. The lucky skill I got in is Anti-Toxin, and then I've got the +4 on Psychic moves. On the grid, I've got First Aid 4, Natural Remedy, Agile Entry 2, so it is going to raise my evasive at the start. Shifty Striker, so I've got a moderate chance of raising my evasiveness every time I hit a move. Then I'll have Swift MP Move Gauge Refresh, and a World of Dreams Move Gauge Refresh as well. So it's more like an evasive attacker that I'm going to use this as against Bruno, but normally I'm probably going to sync with this first and then spam Psychic. I've got Probopass, which I'm going to use just to buff up the defenses because Bruno will use physical attacks. So using that X defense will help the defense, and then Study Buddies will also help me with the special attack and speed, so that I can power up Psychic. And then I've got Wide Guard as well, so just in case if I need it, I can use it before it sinks. And then you can see I've not really paid attention to the lucky skill. It's got Grass Guard, so I haven't really changed it yet. And the +4 on the rock, again, you don't really need this in this team. If you had another rock type, then it would be good to use. Same with Mew, you don't really need the +4 on Psychic. And then I've got Starmie, so Starmie is just going to be there. I'm going to use Catch Me If You Can to raise up its own evasiveness, so when Bruno does hit, it can miss, and I can also self-heal. And of course also raise the special defense of the whole team. Lucky skill I've used is Stalwart. Special defense cannot be lowered. Again, I haven't changed it. Ideally this would have been good to have Vigilance, so if you do have Vigilance on this will be a bit better. So that is the team that I'm going to use. Let me just show you the sync grid for Starmie. So Starmie, I've just got Bubble Beam power ups, Bubble Beam Move Gauge Refresh, Catch Me If You Can MP Refresh, and X Special Defense or MP Refresh, and I've got Agile Entry as well, so I'll get that +1 evasiveness at the start of the battle. So the main aim of this is just to dodge and hit against Bruno for free to play. Next we'll show you my full power team that I'm going to go for 1,500 points. I'm going to use Mew as my main striker to hit hard with Psychic. So again, it's the same grid, I'm not going to change anything on this. Bianca and Mashana is going to be there to use Psychic Terrain, and I'm going to use Snooze You Lose to power up his own stats. And then I'm going to spam Stored Power to hit hard. This team has worked before on Bruno when the first round of Master Mode came up, so I know it's going to work. I've got Vigilance on it, so if it does get hit by critical hits, it's protected. And I've got the +4 on Psychic, and I have the +4 Psychic on Mew. Sabrina, again, it's going to be used for Reflect to stop those physical damages from Bruno, raising my own critical hit, healing when I can with Sixth Sense, and then I've got Vigilance as well for this, and also I've got the +4 on Psychic, so I know this is strong enough and this will win. I've done it plenty of times with this team, and this team will do bits against Bruno. Moving on now to Koga. So this is my free to play team against Koga. So my main striker is going to be Dewgong, and the reason why is because he will be weak against ice. Again, I'm going to use Icy Wind, so I'm going to spam it, and then I'm going to sync as much as I can with Dewgong. I can raise my special attack and special defenses, but because of my support it will do it for me, so instead I'm just going to be raising my critical hit. Lucky skill I've got here is Power Flux 1, but ideally if you've got Critical Strike 2 or 1, it's a lot better than Power Flux 1. And then I've got the +4 on Ice, but again you don't need the +4 on Ice for your team. Sync grid that I'm going to be using is Icy Wind Accuracy, Freeze Synergy, and an Icy Wind Move Gauge Refresh. So this grid is normally for an Ice team. However, I may alter this and change this as I go on while I'm in the battle, or depending on how many attempts. But ideally, this grid has done okay for me with Dewgong. Rosa's in the team to raise special attack, and the more special attack Dewgong gets, the stronger its move. And also, because Icy Wind is a free gauge move, I've got time to energize to let's say increase my move gauge. So by doing that, I shouldn't run out of any move gauges, so I can just spam Icy Wind. Again, lucky skill I've got is Enlightenment 9. Again, it'll be better to have Vigilance on this, and I've got the +4 on Grass, but again, in this team it doesn't need +4 Grass. You can see the sync grid I've used for it, so Energy Ball power-ups, special attack, MP refresh, Energy Ball on a roll, and time to energize, MP refresh. So if I do run out of MPs, I will be then spamming Energy Ball to lower stats. And then I've got Xerneas. Xerneas, I don't have to say much. We all know how good Xerneas is. I've just used the Horn Leech grid. So Horn Leech power up, recuperation, impervious, master healer on Horn Leech, and then I've got the world is vast, MP refresh, just in case if I need it. I've got a chance to get that again to make sure the move gauge gets increased. Passives, we all know. Lucky skill I've got is Vigilance, and then theme skill I've got +4 Fury, but again, in this team you don't need the +4. So that's the idea. So the main aim is to hit Rosa, and Xerneas will be there to buff stats on Dewgong. So I may sync first with Xerneas to get the +6 special defense. So I'll test it out. I'll see first if I can beat it without syncing with Xerneas, if I sync with Dewgong. So we'll see. So that is my free to play for Koga. Let's move on now to my full team against Koga. And my full team is an Ice team against Koga for 1,500 points. My main striker is going to be Steven's Sandslash. I've got the Icicle Spear grid on it. The main way I'm going to be using this is to raise its attack first. Lucky skill got is Critical Strike 2. Theme skill got is +4 on Ice. And on the grid I got just basically all the Icicle Spear power-ups. No Quarter, Healing Hail, MP refreshes, and then I got Cold Snap as well. So Ice Spear is going to be my go-to move against this battle against Koga. Next one we've got is Galale. Galale is going to do wonders after Alolan Sandslash puts in the icy terrain for us. It's also going to use X-Gen, Regen, or so we can gradually heal at the start of the battle. And also then I'm going to just spam Powder Snow. I've got Defense Crush as well, so I may get the opportunity to lower the defenses so that when Alolan Sandslash hits, it will hit a lot harder. And then I've got the +4 on Ice, so it will work well with Alolan Sandslash. The grid I've used is over here. So First Aid 4, so just in case if it does get hit, we can just recuperate some HP. Healing Hail as well, Team Toughen Up 4, and I've got Ice Shell as well. So it's all be really tanky once we synced with Alolan Sandslash. And then we've got Lily and Rabombi. So the reason why this is here is to raise the critical hit of the whole team and the evasiveness. So as much as Koga attacks us, we'll try and dodge it, and then we'll hit hard with critical hit attacks, and we'll try and freeze the team. I've got Vigilance on it to protect itself, and then again I've got +4 hair bug, but again it doesn't need the +4 bug in this team. Again, you can see here all the sync nodes I've used. So Team Toughen Up 3, and then I've got the Leech Life grid on here. So after buffing up all the stats, I'm just going to use Leech Life so it can regain its HP to last on the battle. So that is my team against Koga. Moving on now to Karen. So for Karen, Free to play team, I've used Lucario as my main striker. Yeah, I thought there's other Pokemon in the game that I can EX. If you got it at EX, it will make it a lot easier. So the main aim for this is just to hit with this Pokemon. Again, I'll be using Skate on through so it can raise its attack in the beginning and also raise my speed. And I may use also one dire hit as well, and then I'll use close combat. I've got defense crush as well, so as soon as I lower the defenses, I can also raise my attack and also then hit. I've got the +4 on fighting, so that will do well and activate because I've got Medicham in the team. Medicham will be here just to buff attack stats and also be using gloves off, so I will be raising the critical hit of all the teams and especially Lucario, and that will be the main aim to hit hard. And again, this has also got defense crush, so after I've used the trainer moves, I will then be using probably drain punch to regain energy. And then finally I've got Salamence. Salamence is here to only raise special defenses. If needed for move gauges, I've got hard to starboard, so I can regen my move gauge to hit with close combat, and then it can also raise the defenses of all the teams, which is nice. And then again, I've got Train Mine 8 on Salamence. Again, it's better to have vigilance on this. And then yeah, so that's the team I'm going to use against Karen. For my full strength team against Karen, this is the team that I'm going to go with. I'm going to go Wally and Glade. And this is going to be here to raise its own critical hit, and also its attack and special attack and accuracy. And then I'm going to hit hard with Focus Blast. Lucky skill I've got is Critical Strike 1. If you've got Critical Strike 2, it will be a lot better. And again, here's the theme skills, but again, they won't activate because there's nothing similar here needed in the team. Sync Grid. This is the sync grid that I'm going to be going for. All the Focus Blast power ups, Critical Strike 1, Ramming Speed, Grand Entry 1, and Focus Blast. And here I come. I may alter this team and I may swap Rotom with Swanna just to activate Ramming Speed and also get potions if needed. But Rotom is here only because I want to use Breathtaking and I want to reduce the sync move countdown as quick as I can and also raise special attack for the team. The lucky skill I've got here is Vigilance, and then here is the sync grid. So I've got Ridicule 2, Leg Up 2, Agile Entry 1, Special Tackle and Breathtaking MP Refresh. So it's trying to here to dodge and also quickly sync with Wally and Glade. And then Blastoise is just here to tank. So I will be using to the top to raise the critical hit and special defense, and sorry, not special defenses, my defenses. And it's got Vigilance, so it will be there to absorb hits. And on the sync grid, I've got Team Fist Bump, Team Triage, so I will be getting those heals, Quick Cure, Impervious, so I know my stats won't get lowered. And I've got some MP refreshes and move gauge refresh from Water Pulse. So it's probably the standard Blastoise tank grid that you can get. So here, so this is how I'm gonna get Karen. And then I may swap Rotom for Swanna just to raise the speed, so I can activate Ramming Speed from Wally and Glade's grid. So its attacks are a lot more harder. Moving on to the next free-to-play team against Lance that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using a Lone Dog Trio as my main steel type striker. So I may use Bend but Don't Break just to raise its defenses in the beginning and speed. I'm also going to use it to raise my attack and then spam Iron Head to hit hard and just hope for finches. I've got Gritty 2. Again, it will be better if you have Critical Strike 2 on this as a striker. So that is what I'm going to use for a Lone Dog Trio against Lance. And then I've got Torchic. So Torchic is just here to buff up the attack and the critical hit for the team. Lucky skill I've got is Defense Crush 2. So I'm hoping to also lower the defenses so that when a Lone Dog Trio does attack, it will hit hard. And then I've got Swanna. Swanna's just here to heal, the opportunity to raise the speed and defenses of the team. Again, I may swap this for another type Pokemon if I've already used it. Lucky skill is Vigilance, and on the grid it's just basically the bog standard Master Healer, Potion, tank grid with move gauge refresh 9 on Gust. So once all my trainer moves are gone, I'll be spamming Gust, and that should do well against Lance for a free to play player. Okay, so moving on now to my full strength team against Lance. I will be using this team. I'm going to be using Steven and Metagross as my main striker, and it's just here to sync nuke. I'm also going to use Best There Is, so I got the guaranteed insurance that I will critical hit on the sync. I've got Iron Head as well if I need to flinch. I've got Critical Strike 2 on the lucky skill. Theme skill, I've got the +4 on Steel, and that will be activated by having Steelix. Steelix is here just to buff up their defenses, use Clang, so I've got the critical hit defense and the stat reduction defenses in play. A lucky skill got its defense crush 2, so again I'm looking to lower the defenses and then raise my own attack, so when I do hit it's going to hit a lot harder. And now I've got the theme skill +4 on Steel, so that will be activated with Metagross. And then finally I've got Dusknoir. So Dusknoir's in this team to raise the critical hit of the whole team. And it's also got Unbreakable Bonds. If I ever need to move gauge refreshed, I can use it, and it can also raise the attack, which is what Metagross needs. Lucky skill I've got is Flameproof. Again, it's better to have Vigilance on this. So if you do have Vigilance, put Vigilance on. Again, and theme skills won't matter. On the grid, I've got here Team Toughen Up 4, Die Hit, MP Refresh, and then I've got Shadow Punch, MP Refresh. So if I do run out of trainer moves, I'll be spamming Shadow Ball, but Metagross should do the job. I'll just show you quickly the grids for Metagross and Steelix. So for Metagross, I've just got both sync nodes on there, so I've got +50 on the sync power. I've got recuperation 2, so I can heal. I've got Haymaker, so the more attack my moves get increased, the harder the sync move. Iron Head aggravation and Iron Head move gauge refresh, because we will be spamming Iron Head. And then I'll just show you the grid that we've got for Jasmine. So for Jasmine, I've got Soothing Sand 1 and Sand Shelter. Again, you don't need this in this team. You can change it. I may change it in the battle, depending on how it goes. But again, yeah, you don't need those two. You can swap those out for something else. I've got Clang MP Refresh, X Defense All. I've got Clang Berserk Punch as well. And then I've just got the move gauge refresh as well. So yes, I haven't changed this grid as much because I know Steven and Metagross will probably clean it really quickly with its sync nuke, as mine is a 6-star EX. So that's the teams I'm going to be going for. So here's a quick overview. Here's a quick overview of all the teams that I'm going to be using for Master Mode for tomorrow. If you do like the video, press a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Do let me know in the comments as well what teams you're going to be using for tomorrow. Are you going to be using similar teams to mine? Will you be altering my teams, or have you got completely different teams that you're going to be using? So do let me know in the comments. So yeah, so smash a like as well if you like the video, and then I'll see you all for tomorrow for my Master Mode videos.